Welcome back to Top Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Jay Pelton. I'm here today to talk about the contract announcements that have come out of Everton today, Saturday the 17th of May. And it's been announced that Ashley Young, Joao Virginia and Asmir Begovic will all be leaving Everton upon the expiry of their contracts. Really interesting. I think, obviously, out of the three, Ashley Young's the only one who I think we all thought was probably going to sign a new deal. I think Joao Virginia, the rumours were last year that it was definitely going to be his last year. And Begovic, I was surprised, but again, I think things came out a couple of months ago which suggested he was probably going to be moving on again. And obviously both guys are goalkeepers, neither of them are in the first team picture, so certainly not in terms of displacing Jordan Pickford. So it's not a huge surprise, but I am quite surprised that Ashley Young won't be staying. The rumours this week were that he was going to sign a new deal, he'd been offered new terms. It looked like it was going to happen and it hasn't, and maybe we probably won't see quite why that's happened until he makes his next move. He could obviously retire. He is nearly 40, he'll be 40 before the start of next season, so I'd be very surprised if he's still playing Premier League football come next season if he's not doing it at Everton. I thought he would have stayed for one more year. I thought that would have been good. And I think actually Young, really, to be honest with you, has just been the player I thought he was going to be. He's been fine. I actually felt like by December time, very low bar, don't get me wrong, but I actually thought he was one of our better players this season. Again, as I must stress, low bar. And I'd say I don't think he was absolutely exceptional or anything like that, but I felt like he had a few good games where he was strong defensively, got a few assists, obviously got a great goal against Wolves with a nice free kick. His only Premier League goal for Everton, that was his 50th Premier League goal, which is obviously nice for him. But yeah, 68 games over 2 seasons for a team who don't get very far in the Cups, or haven't got very far in the Cups, obviously don't play in Europe. I think that's 76 Premier League games he could have played in, or 75, not including Sunday. So he's probably played about 60 Premier League games or so. I think that's incredible value for a guy who was 39, as I say, throughout the course of this season, 38 very soon after he arrived. So I think he's been about what we all expected. He's had some bad games. He's had games where he's been exposed for being a veteran Premier League defender, and that's going to happen, especially for someone who's not actually a defender. Obviously he was a flying winger for most of his career, so and even when he became a defender, he was actually more a wing back to start off with. It's only the last few years he's become a kind of out and out bona fide full back for a huge length of time. But yeah, Ash Young's been fine. I think he should be remembered quite fondly. Obviously, I say there were some bad moments like the Southampton penalty miss, red card in the derby, for example, but yeah, he's done exactly how I thought he would do, I'm being totally honest. So and in terms of what Dave Moyes said, he said, since my return to the club, I've seen what a great professional Ash is and know the leadership qualities he's brought to the squad during his time at Everton. His versatility, experience and know-how have all been really beneficial to the team and me. So I think that's kind of one of those intangible things that you can't really quantify when it comes to what a player brings when they sign. But I think as soon as Ashley Young was coming in the door, we all knew, he was a good professional. He'd been around the block. He's played, obviously, and won stuff in Italy. He's been at Manchester United, Watford. So he played in a really good Villa team. 2 really good Villa teams, actually. So we all knew what we were going to get from him, and looks like he's fulfilled that role, so that's absolutely fine. In terms of the goalies, Moyes just said, Asmir and Joao have been also worked really hard and conducted themselves impeccably. On behalf of everyone in the club, I want to thank all 3 players for their service and wish them all the very best for the future. So yeah, in terms of the goalies, Virginia, I think, was definitely someone who was brought in with the hope that he would challenge for a first team place. He also went on loan to Reading, didn't go well at all in the Championship, and that seemingly set his career back a little bit. Unfortunately, went to Sporting, didn't really play there, of course. And then since he's been back at Everton, he's been more in the first team picture. Sean Dyche played him a few times. Obviously played famously in the Ancelotti behind closed doors FA Cup quarter final against Man City. When he played all right, he made a couple of really good saves, but we ultimately fell to defeat that day. We had a couple of brilliant saves in the FA Cup game against Crystal Palace last season that we won 1-0. And yeah, but at the end of the day, he's 25 now, so really a goalie is going to start entering their peak when they're 26, 27. Typically, that's kind of how I see it anyway. So he's getting towards that age now where he just needs to play football. So yeah, no issues there. And I say Asmir Begovic, I mean, he was in goal for one of my favourite ever Goodison Park games against Newcastle. He made a good save late on as well to deny them what would have been a harrowing equaliser. Obviously the game when Alex Iwobi scored and the fella tied himself to the post and what have you. And obviously he played in goal. And Newcastle fans obviously thought Pickford was going to play, so they all came dressed as dinosaurs, which was just absolutely hilarious. And there was that great photo of him as well where the lad's tied himself to the post and Begovic obviously hasn't realised, and he's like looking back at it, which is just, yeah, hilarious. Proper Goodison Park Everton lore, and yeah, he had his moment there. So also played in the West Ham game. We beat them 1-0 when Neil Maupay scored his only ever Everton goal, his only competitive goal anyway, which is another interesting one. So yeah, no shocks at all. Obviously, the big decisions have to be made, I would say, are obviously still to come. Decore, Idrissa Gueye, obviously all the lads who are on loan, some players who are out on loan, but you'd imagine they'll probably leave anyway, Michael Keane. But Dave Moyes has said some players will get clarity this week, some will be next week. So I think that certainly doesn't suggest to me that players who haven't been released today are going to be signing new deals. I think it's just discussing it still and trying to work something out. Personally, for me, I think we've got to keep Idrissa Gueye. I would be fine either way if Decore moving on. Certainly don't think he should be on the wage he's supposedly on. I don't see any benefit for us doing that. We can get better value elsewhere. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, another one. Again, another player I'd like to see stay, but let's see what happens there. I think Michael Keane's race is run at Everton, to be honest with you. I'd be more than happy to see him moved on now at this point. And in terms of like loan players, Harrison, I'm pretty easy on, but I'd probably rather see us go for somebody else. Same with Jesper Lindstrom, same with Amanda Broja. I'd be happy to see us get Mangala if we can get him for a decent fee, but obviously he's injured at the minute, so I think that's a really complicated situation actually. And obviously with Leon's financial situation, you don't know how desperate they are to sell and what have you. So it's a real big summer ahead. But I think getting these three out the way before the last game, obviously with James Coleman says he's going to be staying next season, whether that's a player, coach, who knows, let's see what happens there. But it'd be nice to be able to give those three a nice send-off tomorrow. None of them are Everton legends, icons. None of them have been brilliant players for Everton, obviously. But they've been good servants. They've been there. They've all put a shift in, and they've all had, as I say, a memorable moment each, I'd say, kind of in limited games. And in total, between the three of them, they played about 85 games or something. So, and the majority of them were obviously actually on the last couple of seasons. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below on those three players, and out of the players who are also out of contract, who would you like to see stay, who are you fine to see go, and yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Next one.